We just need the willpower and intestinal fortitude to take on the NRA and get something done for the safety of the men, women, and particularly the children in our schools.
We all know that the NRA has held the Republican Party in a vice lock.
We have a moral responsibility to tell the NRA that they are not going to dictate gun policy in this country anymore.
Well, to paraphrase Chuck Schumer, we all know that Dianne Feinstein wants to take your guns as well. Someone else who knows that fact is Candace Owens, Director of Urban Engagement for Turning Point USA, the largest conservative student movement in America, and she joins us live on set. Candace, thanks for being here.
I'm so happy to be here for the first time.
So you heard those, yeah, welcome. It's great to have you. You heard those Democrats, they're not big fans of the NRA. You took a different approach recently as it pertains to and you're a former Democrat.
I am.
Who just joined an organization that starts with N and ends with A.
Yes, I absolutely did. I just joined the NRA. I happen to fall into the window of people that knows my history. I'm a Black American, and I know that the NRA was started as a civil rights organization, training Black Americans to arm themselves and defend themselves against the KKK. So it's incredulous to me that they stand on that platform.
I've never heard that before. That's so interesting.
It is. It's incredibly interesting, and it's so important because what the Democrats have been so successful at is wiping away history and rewriting it, okay? So it's very important that Black Americans take a stand and defend the NRA in the same way that they defended us.
And that's why you told us before we came on that something clicked and you said, I got to speak out. What was that moment?
It was just understanding that they were using racism as a narrative, right? Sort of, I always call it ideological slavery. They want to always keep the Black vote, and they have to keep the themes of racism alive. That's the only way to do it. So it's going to take new Black leaders speaking out against this, and I want to be one of them.
You are so right. It's the messenger and the message. The messenger matters, and I'm glad that you've stepped forward. Now, 62% of millennials said that if the 2018 elections were held today, they would vote Democratic, only 29% Republican. What do Republicans and Donald Trump and his campaign, which he's just launched, what do they need to do to win back millennials?
Well, first and foremost, we're talking about polls, right? So I don't necessarily believe the numbers that I see.
Poll, yeah.
Right? That I see whatsoever. I mean, you just have to understand Donald Trump is sitting in the White House, and the Hill publication ran polls, and they told us that he was absolutely not going to be in the White House, and that Hillary Clinton was going to win. But let's assume that the polls are accurate. Okay. Number one thing to pay attention to is that there is a growing youth movement that is happening, a conservative movement that is happening, and it is so very exciting right now. So they have to sort of change the lines of communication, get these kids excited. I went to a conference, the Student Action Summit, and Ben Shapiro came on stage, and it was like watching Elvis Presley come back from the dead. So it's a really cool time to be a conservative in this country.
Well, what's the issue that will bring that really speaks to youth millennials?
I think there are so many issues. I mean, like I said, we were just talking about the NRA organization. I think they're understanding that the themes have been hijacked and history has been rewritten.
Are they understanding that? Because their college professors are telling them a different story. And how do you cut past the orthodoxy in the ideology of higher education, which is telling them to love socialism and hate the NRA?
It's re-educating them. And I'm telling you, we see at Turning Point USA, there are so many conservatives that are on campus, and they are winning, these student body presidencies because they understand that that's exactly the problem, is that these schools control the budget, right? You have these very leftist organizations and these leftist presidents controlling the school budget and getting different speakers that are not conservative. So we're just presenting them with different ideas, and that's what it all comes down to, giving them different ideas.
Speaking of not being conservative, you came on all fired up about this story, having a post pointing out 15 trailblazers in Women's History Month. Tell me about it.
Okay, so first off, the list is absolutely ridiculous. Obviously, there is no conservative woman.
Right there.
Yeah, it's just leftist propaganda, so that can be ignored. But what I thought was so interesting is that they have the president of Planned Parenthood on the list, right, as well as the co-founders of Black Lives Matter. How is that possible? If a Black life mattered, right, then we would be talking about the fact that there are 900 Black babies that are aborted every single day. Over 19 million Black babies aborted since 1973. So this list doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Also on that list, Elizabeth Warren, who the president calls Pocahontas, Kristen Gillibrand, Nancy Pelosi, but no Ivanka Trump, Kellyanne Conway, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Melania, nothing.
Absolutely. Nobody. They are punished for wrongthink, so they don't have the ideas. They happen to think for themselves, which isn't allowed anymore.
In a very quick tease, you have a video coming out tomorrow that may pertain to the Oscars. Where do people see that?
They can see that at PragerU. Go to any of their website. You can go to their Facebook page, and the video is entitled "Dear Celebrities, No One Cares What You Think."
Wow.
Candace is going to be watching.
You summed up my thoughts. By the way, great having you. You're awesome.
Thank you, guys.